Hello, Mr. Hegarty back again. Now this question says list all the values of n which satisfy this inequality. Now at the left hand side we've got a less than or equals to sign. So that's going to signify a black dot because we're going to include it. So we need to put the black dot at -1. At the other end we've got a less than sign. The less than sign signifies an open dot. So we put an open dot at 4 and then we link those up with a line. So what this means, number -1 is included in the inequality, but 4 doesn't get in there. So the integers that we need, so these need to be whole number values, would be -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So you would write your answer as -1, 0, 1, 2 and 3 for your values of n. Now the next question says solve the inequality 4x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 5. We solve this using algebra and we just pretend that's an equal sign. So I'm going to take 3 off that side and 3 off that side to balance. So that gives us 4x is greater than or equal to 5 take away 3 gives 2. And then we're going to divide by 4. So we divide by 4 on that side. So we get x is greater than or equal to 2 over 4. So that means x is greater than or equal to a half. Now if we're going to show that on a number line, here's my x, greater than or equal to a half. That means it's going to be a black closed dot. So it's going to be opposite there. So we draw a dot there. And then we want all the values to the right of that to be greater than. Now this next question wants us to outline these regions where y is greater than or equal to 0, x is greater than or equal to 0, y is less than or equal to 5 minus x, and y is greater than or equal to x minus 1. So the first one, y is greater than or equal to 0. I'm going to take a rule, I'm going to draw that line. Now that line, y equals 0, is actually the x-axis. So I'm just going to label this here. So this is the x-axis and that's the line y equals 0. Now we want it to be greater than or equal to 0, so we want to be above that line. The next one, x is greater than or equal to 0. Well, that's going to be the y-axis, so we want to be to the right hand side of the y-axis. So if I draw a solid line down here, now I've drawn a solid line because that means if you've got a greater than or equals to sign, you need to draw a solid line. So we want to be to the right of the y-axis. So at the moment we want it to be above there and we want it to the right of the line x equals 0. Now we're going to need to plot next the line y equals 5 minus x. So I've set up a little table here. We've got y equals 5 minus x. So when x equals -3, 5 minus -3, well a minus and a minus is a plus. So that's 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 minus -2, that's going to be 7. 5 minus -1 is going to be 6. As you can see in this, the numbers are going down 1 each time because the gradient of this graph is going to be 1 because there's a 1 in front of x. So this is going to be 5, 4, 3, 2. So if we plot a few of those points, let's go for 0, 5. So 0, 5, got that there. 1, 4, go across 1 and up 4. Then we've got 2, 3, 2, 3 and 3, 2. 3, 2. That's enough to plot that line. Now, here it mentioned it's a less than or equal to sign, so it means that the line we're going to draw needs to be a solid line. If it just says less than or greater than, we would draw a dotted line. And then along that equation, I'm going to write y equals, and that's 5 minus x. Now the next one we want to draw, oh sorry, I need to arrow on that which way we've got to go. We want y to be less than or equal to 5 minus x. which means we want the region that is below that line there. So we want to be below that line. So at the moment, we want to be above that axis, to the right of that axis, and in here. So our region's narrowing down. We've got one more line to draw. We're going to draw the line y equals x minus 1. So I'm going to do that with this table on the right. So if x is minus 3 minus 1 would give you minus 4. If x is minus 2 minus 1 gives minus 3. And if you notice this time, the numbers are going up by 1 each time because there's really a 1 in front of that x there. So the gradient of this graph is going to be 1. So we've got minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. Let's plot about 3 of these points. That'll be enough to get a line. When x is 0, y is 1. Sorry, when x is 1, y is 0. So 1, 0, there's one of them. 2, 1, so across 2, up 1, and then 3, 2. 3, 2, it's going to be that point there. Again, we're going to draw a bold line here. It's not a dotted line. And that's the line y equals x minus 1. Now, this is a greater than or equal to sign, so we need to be above that line. So we want to be in there. So the area that we're interested in total is we've got to be above this axis here. So we're going to shade it's there. And that's enough to get the answer to the question. And that's the end of this video.